Welcome to this rapid revision session on the Sand Creek Massacre. It's a rather unpleasant topic this, but we'll only be spending about 2 to 3 minutes on it, so let's get into it. This character here is Colonel John Chivington. He really has much of the blame for what happened at Sand Creek, and he's a controversial character. In the 2018 Edexcel exam, he appeared as one of the stimulus points in one of the questions, which caught a lot of people by surprise. Because actually he's only got a couple of paragraphs in the entire Edexcel textbook based on him. But we do need to know what his role was in the Sand Creek Massacre. And if you see his name appear, you need to know that this is the event that really he's associated with. Let's have a look at a breakdown of the main points of the Sand Creek Massacre. Before I do, in the top right we can see an Indian drawn illustration of what happened at Sand Creek. So who was involved? Black Kettle and the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes versus the US government led by Colonel Chivington, although I'm careful here not to try and suggest that this was in any way a battle. What happened? US Army soldiers led by Colonel Chivington massacred over 150 Indians, mostly women, children and babies. Women were raped, bodies mutilated and body parts taken as trophies, including genitalia. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting this. It shows actually that these US soldiers were not treating the Indians as human beings at all. Where did it happen? Sand Creek, Colorado. And when? On the 29th of November 1864. So let's consider why this appalling event actually took place. There had been conflict between Indians and white settlers ever since gold was discovered in Colorado. Black Kettle had set up camp to discuss peace terms with Colorado Territory Governor John Evans. However, Evans had ordered Chivington to kill and destroy hostile Indians. So basically, Chivington has interpreted that as an excuse to massacre these Indians who are waiting to sign a peace treaty. Ultimately, that's a very vague order to give. And someone like Chivington was wanting to make a name for himself, to make a name for his troops who had never really been in battle. And so he didn't need much of an excuse to go and do something like this. So what was the importance and what were the outcomes? Chivington at the time was disgraced, but he was not actually punished. Unable to fight the Indians during the Civil War, the government promised compensation and a large reservation, but then they went back on the deal. Indian tribes heard about the massacre and the government's refusal to compensate the Cheyenne and Arapaho, further reducing trust. So like the Little Crows War that we may have looked at before, and I've got a separate rapid revision video on that if you're interested, this is a further erosion of trust and relations between the Plains Indians and the various tribes and the US government. So how do we sum this up on a few final points? The Sand Creek Massacre was a shocking incident of unprovoked violence that even disgusted many Americans at the time. The rape and murder of around 150 unarmed Indians, mostly women and children, was a terrible escalation of violence. And although Chivington was disgraced at the time, the event still marked a further decline in trust and relations between the Indians and the government. So that concludes this rather brief rapid revision video. I hope that it's given you everything that you need. If it has, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. If you've got a topic that you're desperate for me to do a rapid revision video on, pop it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. But for now, I'll say thanks for watching and goodbye.